excited for today's guest. I'm excited. Man, I got a friend on the show, my brother, my mentor, someone I look up to immensely. Man, I feel like I want to describe everything he does, but it's almost like a renaissance man. He does literally everything and impacts so many people. Jordan, I'm super grateful to have you on the pod, man.
I appreciate that, man. I'm happy to be here. I love you so much. I'm grateful for our friendship. And, I always say, like, I talk about we get to do life together. It's more than just like a high five or a like on Instagram. Like, it's legit, like, worrying about the person and worrying about the family. And, I'm just grateful for you, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. Man, let's jump into it. I know I want to get into the art and what you're currently doing right now, but I guess let's go back for a little bit. I guess tell us about yourself, early stages of Jordan Durso, how you grew up and where you grew up. So let's talk on that.
Yeah, Italian kid from Queens. Growing up in I think a great household. Parents were pastors, grew up in the church and stuff like that. Of course, like most pastors' kids, wilding out, doing their thing. Graffiti was a big thing for me. My tag was Jist, Jist. I don't know why. My friend gave me the name. He's like, sometimes like I'll hit him up, like he's still bombing. And like I'll see something new and I'm like, bro, you still going? Like we're 42 years old, stop. But I can't hate, like, it was fun and it is artistic and there's a rush to it. And but my dad was on the orphanage, on the board of an orphanage in Haiti, and would travel to a couple different countries. And whenever he'd go, I'd be like, Dad, I want you to take me. Like, please, please, please. Like, there was just this like passion and fire inside me that was like, I just want to go help people.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to go do something and just be there, just like serve people meals and whatever, like whatever I had to do, like traveling and helping people were part of my life. And so I don't know, I just grew up with that I knew, even when I was away from like what I knew was right, I still was like, I got to do that. So that was just always in me.
Yeah. What do you say you attribute that to?
I don't know. I think we're all just wired a certain way, like I always talk about puzzle pieces and we're all puzzle pieces in this massive puzzle, and there's a creator of the puzzle and he designed all of us uniquely. And you don't fit where I fit and I don't fit where you fit, and everybody's got their part to play, and the puzzle's not complete without every single piece. We can't say one's more important than the other or my piece is better than yours. Like, this is just my piece. And like before, like when I was trying to do things a different way or someone else's way, like when you try to fit a piece in the puzzle and doesn't fit there, like you'll either bend the piece or hurt your thumb. Like, but when you find where it fits, it's just like clarity. It's like, oh my goodness, this is what I was created for. And so for me, that it's just where I fit, and traveling and helping people and problem solving and stuff. It's just where I fit. And so I'm like, that's my puzzle piece. That's it. So I don't know.
Yeah. What age would you say was like your first time traveling?
Yeah, it was 6 years old going to Haiti.
Okay.
Yeah, that was probably my big trip. I mean, we travel, my grandparents had a house in Florida, had a house in St. Martin. They did great in the family business. So we'd always travel, like planes weren't, foreign to me. But the one that got me was that trip to Haiti that I was 6 years old, traveling with my dad, helping people. I was like, that's it. That's everything for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to travel. I went to, I think my first time I traveled as far as like missions type of service, I stood at a children's orphanage in Juarez, Mexico for 2 weeks, and I knew no Spanish.
All right.
So that was the toughest thing ever, because they were talking to me and I was like, listen, I don't know what you're saying.
I'm American.
But I'm here to help you.
Exactly.
The great American is here to help,
Exactly.
But yeah, it was good, man. I fell in love with it. And then I went to Guatemala, which was like life-changing for me, man. It was just different. We got to drive around the whole Guatemala, and it was different because when I was in Mexico, it was semi safe. Like there was like a group, we stood in a nice little house. Like it was different. When we went to Guatemala, it was just like four of us in the back of a truck, just driving around, just trying to be the best help to people around. And it was beautiful, man. It was tough, man. I have some amazing stories about that. But I guess let's talk about modern day now. What would you say drives you to be a better man, better father? You know, what currently drives you to, just to be your best self?
I'm always talking about we got to live with the end in mind, right? And so when I look at the end, not to be morbid, but it's a tombstone, and people have dates on it. The day you're born, the day you die, there's a dash in there. What I'm gonna do with my dash? Like that's legacy right there. And then usually people write some things on it, and whether it's, I don't know, dog lover or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like when I think about what I want people to write on my tombstone, I want it to be love God, love people, and loved his girls like beyond imagination. So I'm like, all right, well, if that's what I want in the end, like I got to do that every single day now. Like that's not a last minute decision. So I'm like, man, I got to love God. I got to love people. I got to love my girls. Like that's everything for me. And I'm a big list guy. I have lots of lists on my phone. One of the things that I have is goals for my roles. I believe that I have roles in life. Like I'm a dad. That's my most important role. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm a friend. I'm a leader. I'm a humanitarian. I'm a single man. I'm a future husband.
Yeah.
Like I have all these things, and literally every single morning I look at those roles. I'm like, all right, how can I be better today? Like, how can I be better than yesterday as a dad? What can I do better as a man? What can I do better as a brother? What can I do better as a friend? I think I'm not a great friend, but I wish I reached out more. But some of that gets in me, and I'm like, man, I haven't hit this person up in a long time. Let me hit him up. Just like, but I'm always thinking, how can I be better than yesterday? I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want yesterday to be my best day. I want today to be my best day. I want tomorrow to be a better day. And so I'm always thinking through all my roles. And then I think, man, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, as an entrepreneur, as an artist, as a humanitarian, like, I don't know, how do I be better? I'm just like, it's constantly on my mind. And that's probably the list I think I look at the most, because I look at it every single morning as I'm just kind of like spending some quiet time before the kids wake up, before anything happens. I'm just like, yo, how do I be better today? How do I use today to be the best Jordan Charles Durso that's ever lived?
Yeah. I think from the moment I met you, man, if there's three things I could say about you, is that you hustle. You know what I mean? You care and you love your kids, and I think I value it. I value it a lot more now that I have a boy.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's almost like, what would Jordan do? You know what I mean? Like, I guess let's talk about fatherhood for a little bit. Like, you have 3 girls, and I guess share one, what's that like? And then 2, like, with the way you are and the way you attribute your life to be right now, is that something that they're getting from you now? Like, are they starting to move the same way and wanting to like help people and do missions and kind of like, be greater?
Yeah. Anything that I do, I have sit downs with my girls. I let them know the plans. I let them know like the blueprint. Hey, this is what we're building. This is the building stages. This is where we're going. My oldest she's in her 3rd year of college. I want to light myself on fire. She was like, hey, Dad, with us building all of this and I want to do this, like, can I just drop out of college? I was like, no, finish college. You got 1 more year left, but yes, we can build this together. I love that my kids want to build it with me. I love that my kids have traveled the world already.
Yeah.
My oldest has been to like 33 countries. They've been all over the place. I love that. I get to take them with me to go help at an orphanage in Africa, even to Israel, and do like Israel tours and stuff like that. Like, they've been everywhere. They were all 3 of them were born in Peru.
Oh, wow.
So they had dual citizenship. They traveled with me. I mean, we lived in Peru as missionaries for 11 years, and they got to travel all over Central and South America. We had offices in 16 countries, and I would take them with me. And even if I would just take one of them, it was like a daddy-daughter trip. Like, I love that. I feel like that's what my dad did to me.
Right.
And if they didn't want to go into that, they don't have to. Like, I want them to be their own puzzle piece. Find out where you fit. So far, all 3 of them say they want that. I'm happy about that. But definitely being a dad is my favorite role I get to play on this earth. It's the most important thing. I'd give up everything to be dad. Nothing else matters to me than being dad. If the business got in the way, if the missions got like, all of it just doesn't matter to me. Like when I think in the end, that I sacrificed. Listen, I made a lot of mistakes. I mean, we could talk about it. Like I'm divorced, and back when we lived in Peru, and the ministry was exploding, and we're starting offices in all these different countries in Central South America, and we started a program that put us in all over Africa and Asia. I mean, we're crushing it. Like, we're traveling. We're on the plane with freaking presidents of different countries, and I'm thinking we're crushing it. And my ex-wife, she's crushing it. She's running all our offices in Peru. We had about 20 offices, and all together we had over 100 people on staff, and it was amazing. And then the marriage breaks up because we've been traveling too much apart, and you're spending a certain amount of days. Like I tell all my friends that travel a lot, whether you're preaching, whether you're doing whatever, like none of that stuff matters. Like lose your family, like that just doesn't matter. And so there's regrets there, and I'm like, all right, next time when I get married again, like I'm gonna do things different. Being a dad, I'm gonna do things different. So like I learned a lot. I learned what not to do, going through some stuff, and I know it's made me a better person, and I just got to be better next time.
Yeah. Talking about learning, what would you say is the most important thing you've learned? I guess in your younger years and then now.
The most important thing I've learned, I would say that things don't matter as much as we think they do.
Yeah.
I used to be really uptight about everything's got to be perfect, and everything's got to be right, and we would dig wells and build and do medical clinics and build houses, and we had all these programs going, and I was so like, I believe in excellence. I really do. I believe in excellence, but not at the cost of your sanity, not at the cost of your temper and how you treat people. And I would go nuts if something went wrong. I mean, I'd be yelling at my staff. I'd be angry, and it
wasn't a good boss.
It wasn't a good boss. And I'm like, and then 2 weeks later, I'm like, man, nobody remembers that. Like, we still helped whatever amount of people. Like, it was still awesome.
Yeah.
Even like, I have the opportunity to preach sometimes, and like I go so crazy about the sermon. And I want to give my best when I do it, but I'm like 2 weeks later, nobody remembers what I said. Like, it's not that, like, it shouldn't like take over everything. And so I'm just like, I want to give my best, definitely. I'm not saying I don't. Excellence is everything. Give my best, everything, but not at the expense of my sanity, my peace, my mental health. Like that's just not worth it in the end. So things are just not important as we think they are.
Yeah, no, I believe that. I believe it, man. So last year, before the pandemic hit, I struggled hard with mental health, right? And I remember having a conversation with my wife, and she was pretty much telling me, like, I don't know how to help you anymore. Just because I was just all over the place. I started drinking a lot again. It was just real bad, And then I remember when the pandemic hit, I remember telling my wife, I said, I don't know if I could make it past this year. Because, I was thinking suicide. I was thinking a bunch of things, but it's almost like here I am, good job, good position, good service, good wife, good kid, you know what I mean? And I was depressed. Anxiety had taken over, and I was just dealing a lot. And I remember I jumped into therapy, man. Therapy literally saved my life last year. And I'm still in therapy now, definitely once a week. I'm a once a week gang, but it was tough because I had to break a lot of what was before, and all the triggers I had and all the things that I kind of just sat with for years, and you kind of just let it pile up. When we talk about mental health, like how important is mental health to you?
I don't think I thought about it like a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I knew that after my divorce, I mean, I was very depressed. I was very angry with life. And it started becoming more important and more important to me. one of the things that the expressions I heard is if it's causing you to lose it, lose it. Like, get rid of that thing. You don't need it. Like, what in your life is like zapping that joy tank? What's draining you? What's like draining your mental health? And man, get rid of that thing. I'm all about protecting your peace. The turmoil isn't healthy. The anxiety isn't healthy. Stuff that's just swirling in your mind. It's just like, protect your peace at all costs. Build a border. Don't let anything past it. Like, none of that other, I keep saying none of that other stuff is worth it. You know, when I think, I get to do a lot of Israel tours, and I think of the Jewish people, and shalom is high and shalom is by. It's peace in your coming and your going. It deals with who you are with God, who you are with yourself, who you are with others. Protect your peace. Like, that is the most important thing, because that's everything. Like, if you don't have peace, it rocks everything. You can't function as a healthy human being if you don't have peace. And so for me, it was I just stopped letting those things bother me so much. Stop letting those things into my life. Stop giving them a platform in my life.
Yeah.
And I got like, I know it almost sounds like I'm yelling at those things.
Yeah.
You are not coming into my life, because again, it affects me as a dad. It affects me in all my roles that I play. It affects me as a brother and a man and blah, blah, blah. All my, like, it affects everything. Bro, I'm with you. I couldn't function at one point. I just sleeping all day, wanting to stay in bed, like not productive. And I'm like, who is this Jordan?
Yeah.
There's no way. Like, I know I've been called for greatness. I know I've been called for more. I'm not letting this thing, like, I had to get like tough with this thing and be like, enough is enough, and like put my foot down. I'm not saying it doesn't take work. It takes work. I'm talking.
Daily.
One, I have the best friends in the world, all over the world. I mean, I'm not. I know there's this thing about oversharing and, you know, being careful who you talk to. I'm okay with, you know, everyone doesn't need to hear your story, but I'm not the Instagram person. I'm not just going to post my highlights and everything's filtered. I'm good with talking about my stuff. Like, I'm fine with talking about my dirt. You can know what's going on in my life. I'm okay with that, because actually I feel like when I talk, someone else is like, yo, I've been through that too, or I'm going through that too. And now we could talk about it, because most of the times you feel like you're the only person, nobody understands what you're going through, and you have nowhere to go.
Right.
So I'm okay with talking about my stuff. I'm okay with being honest and open, because I think someone's going to be able to help me, and hopefully I can help somebody else, and we could like drag each other through the mud and get to a place of safety.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Well, we had met up a while ago. I'm not too sure. I think it was before the pandemic. No, I think it was last year, actually.
Yeah. You came to my house?
Yeah. I went to your house and we spoke for like, my wife was texting me like, fam, where are you?
Yeah.
You know, it was a while, and we just kind of like broke bread, you know? And I remember, towards the end of our conversation, you jumped in and you started showing me these like art pieces that you've been finding your way to kind of like express yourself with, and kind of just like, and then when I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, these things are phenomenal. And I remember you telling me like, this is not something, it was at the time, it was something you were doing for you, but you were going to do something with it. I guess talk about that now, because now I see you like on Instagram, and like these pieces are phenomenal.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Give me one.
So like, again, it was a peace moment of painting, going back to my childhood graffiti days. There was just this piece about it that I literally turned half of my garage into an art studio and started throwing paint at the canvases and started building my own canvases, which was also therapeutic. But just creating, and you know, I think there's so many life lessons in art. Right. So like, let's say I didn't like it. I grabbed a roller, I dipped it in some white paint, and I painted over it. And I'm like, it's okay to start over. It's okay to start over. It's okay to mess up.
Right.
And then like, just start painting, and then come to that moment where like, literally like I'd splatter something and I'm like, oh, that's it. Like, this is this is it. Don't touch it. Nobody breathe. Like, this is the painting, and being inspired and drawing again, whether on my phone or on a notepad, and just being inspired. And it just took me to a better place. I think creativity definitely always for me takes me to a better place and it just clears my mind. And so I'm like, I'm creating it, and this is actually just amazing for me. And my kids were gracious enough to let me hang it around the house, like like refrigerator art.
When I went, you had like piles of them.
Now we've got I don't know how many done, but we're about to launch the website. It'll be jaywashere.com.
Jay was here is obviously Jordan.
Jay was here comes from where Joseph in the Bible, goes through all this really tough stuff. And then he gets to a place where, of importance. And then some other people, I mean, in this case, his brothers, but other people now find themselves in a tough place. They finally get to him like, yo, we're so sorry we did that to you. Yeah. He's like, nah, it's cool. Cause I'm here now. I can help you be here too. Right. So that's my whole thing. I've been divorced. I hate that I got divorced, but now I can help people that are going through the same thing. I can help them get to that good part. So it's Joseph was here, Jesus was here, Jordan was here, Jay was here, and it's all about helping others. It's being healthy to help others be healthy. So anyway, so that's the art. I mean, everything that I do will kind of bleed into that. The art, like proceeds from the art will be going to fun project that we're doing around the world. We're actually embedding a QR code into the art.
Oh, wow.
And so whenever you put your phone and point your phone at the art will come on your phone, come alive, go into a video of all the stuff that we're doing.
The actual physical art. Mm. Oh,
wow. So you could, it'll come right on your phone so you could see like videos that we're doing, of stuff we're doing around the world. So the art will still always point back to helping people. Proceeds from the art will point back to helping people. And then one of the main things that I just started doing is writing this verse in graffiti, but it was a Bible verse that helped me through my divorce. Right. And the verse is like, it means Habakkuk 3, 17 through 19. Y'all can read it, but it's just like all this negative stuff. And then there's this like, it's just like the worst possible circumstance situation. And then there's this yet, and it like breaks it up. And he's just like, I'll rejoice in God, my savior. Like, it's like, it changes the whole tone of the verse. And for me, it was like, man, I'm going through all this stuff, this crap, this like stuff that I feel like I'm going to die. And then it was like, wait, hold up.
Yeah.
Even in the midst of this, even though I don't understand it, even though I don't even see how I can get out of this thing. So it was just life-changing for me. So I just been writing that verse. A lot of my friends are like, yo, start writing other verses and just keep it all super graffiti. And so I'm doing that. And then there's a couple other, there's a lion with a crown, and then there's a preacher. I call him the preacher. It's really a guy with a hat, but I call him I was watching The Apostle with Robert Duvall, and reminded me of this traveling preacher, which that's how I see myself. So I mean, I don't know where it's going to go. Right. I'm excited about it. If it does nothing, I love it. If it does a lot of stuff, I'll love it even more.
Yeah.
And hopefully sell some stuff and create some, cushion for me and my girls.
Yeah, one of those pieces could go right in my house, bro.
Really? I'll show you guys for that.
No, man, they're dope, man. But I in this talk, right, and in things that you've been saying, you're preaching like togetherness, being with your friends, having good friends, having a good family. For me, you personally are like a person that's kind of helped me through a lot, in such a short time too. You know what I mean? Who would you say are like 3 influential people to you that kind of just like, no matter what, like they've like impacted your life?
I have too many people.
Give me 3. Everybody else gets canceled out now.
I know I can't do it. I can't. I'm my kids. Like I'm gonna go.
You got 3 kids? Yeah.
I got 3 kids. I honestly, like, I'm always on Instagram and I'm like, yo, I'm with one of my best friends. Yo, I'm posting about, this is my best friend. And everyone always hits me up like, yo, you got too many best friends. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm lucky. Like, I feel bad for you if you don't have that many best friends. I have best friends. I have best friends that will ride or die for me, that will do anything for me, that if I'm in a tight spot, they got me. If they're in a tight spot, I got them. Like, I've just been lucky to have, and all over the world.
Right.
Like, all over the world. I just got back from California a couple of days ago, and just to get to be one of my, childhood friends. She's 36, and found out she got breast cancer, and she's one of those people that's walked with me through a lot of my dirt. I was able to take her to a radiation appointment and then just kind of hang with her and they're going through life with people like those crazy journeys and being there for them, and then they're there for you. I have too many people that I'm so grateful to God for that. I don't think I'd have made it without them.
Right.
So I avoided your specific.
No, it's good. It's good because, man, hearing you be this way, and you've been this, it's not just now, you've been this way since I've met you, and how much you just love on people and your friends and your family. It's like spilled onto me so much, that I care less, cause I'm human, right? I care less about what people know me for and how people know me. You know what I mean? Like, I literally care about how I treat my friend, my family, no matter, like I always tell myself, no matter what, something that I always tell myself is be who you needed when you were younger. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I need to be that, so and it's interesting because growing up without a dad, I struggled with opening up to people, but it's kind of like what you're saying. Like, now, forget it. I will sit and tell anyone my story, just because I'm an open book. I can share with anyone. I'll love on anybody. I could meet you one day and literally give you like the shirt off my back. You know what I mean? And I attribute that to, obviously, you're one of my three. You know what I mean? I got some really good people around me, and I thank you for that, man. I got some good people who really care and kind of show me how to this is the model, or find your puzzle piece or whatever. So I appreciate you. Big time.
Awesome. Thank you.
This episode is sponsored by Brooklyn First Printing. Brooklyn First Printing gives you quality work with quality prices. They do everything from shirts, hats, hoodies, and so much more. Hit them up on Instagram, DM them, and give them code COAH for a discount on your first order. So I got a fun question for you, to kind of break up the chat a little bit, but I think it'll lead into some other stuff. But if you could have a billboard, and you could put anything on it, what would that something be?
Funny or serious?
It's up to you. It's your billboard. Your billboard, your spot. It could be Cali, it could be Peru, it could be New York City, Times Square.
I want people to know what superpowers I have. I feel like that's important in life, that people knew that about me.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I thought you was gonna go deep with like superpowers. Caring is a superpower.
Caring is a superpower. No, night hearing is one of my superpowers.
Oh, man.
And dogs understand when I point.
That's hilarious.
Those are my superpowers. Nah. If I would for real, for real billboard, I actually look at, like, when I look at billboards, I like a wish. So if I get some money, I'm gonna do it. Like, if it just said others and people would just think about others, I think our world would be so much better. I mean, everything that we experienced in 2020, and I think, I'm not going to get political or anything here, but like, I feel like the people that make the most money when we're divided. There's a lot of money in war.
Yeah.
And that's been throughout history. And to keep us divided, whether it's here in this country or everywhere else in the world, there's someone profiting off it. And if us, the regular people, would just be like, care about others and how others feel, even if your political position is different and your religious background is different, like, who cares? Like if we really, really, really cared about others, I think this world would be amazing.
Yeah.
I think there would be no hunger. I think there would be no poverty. I literally think that all of our life's problems would be saved. I mean, we can get into poverty. That's a whole nother thing. I mean, I deal with that all the time, and there's some people that just don't want to be helped. But I feel like if I cared about you and you cared about me, on a daily basis, and everybody cared about somebody else, and you were just awesome to other people, I I mean,
Yeah.
we talk about, we have this thing called Feed Somebody Wednesdays. And every single Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon. Oh, that's another thing, man. Consistency is everything. If you were to go to this one park at 12 o'clock, any Wednesday, raining, snowing, anything, you'd see us there. If it was 12:01 I hate being late. If by some chance we were late, there'd be a line of people waiting for food because they know we're coming at 12 o'clock every single Wednesday with some hot food. And
what park is that?
Maria Hernandez Park in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And so to me, that's very important. Consistency is everything. But I forgot where I was going with that. Feed somebody. Oh, so then I'm always like, whenever I'm posting about it, I'm like, yo, you don't have to be here to feed somebody on a Wednesday. In the morning when you're buying your bacon, egg, and cheese, buy a second one.
Yeah.
Go give it to somebody else.
Feed somebody Wednesdays.
Buy a second cup of coffee. There's somebody out there that's in need that you have no idea what they woke up with that morning. And who knows if a cup of coffee, how much is a cup of coffee? $1.69? I don't know.
It's like $5 now.
No, stop it. No, we're not talking Starbucks. We're talking some deli coffee, some bodega coffee. And I just think if we really, really cared about others and not, because like we live in such a me world, right? Everything is me. Everything's a selfie. Everything is my Instagram followers, my TikTok followers. Like it is such a self-centered world, which I think is why we're in the mess that we're in as a world, not even just as a country, as a world, because we are so self-centered. I mean, I would say for me, that's just the gospel. It's just all about others.
Yeah.
And if we live like that, I think our world would be a much better place. And so if I had a billboard and everybody got to pass on the highway of life and read that, Others, man.
All right. I'm going to take that.
Others.
Now, when I do like podcast interviews, I'm going to be like, if I had a billboard, I'm going to say, oh, that's not.
Yeah.
Imagine.
So everybody, I'm going to say this. Everybody else's answer to that question when you ask them in all the other interviews that you do, and they say something else, you'd be like, "That's stupid." Others is such a better answer.
You don't want to change it. You don't want to change it to others.
It should be others.
This is wrong. Wrong answer, bro.
Wrong.
Yo, but I know you mentioned Feed Somebody Wednesdays. Let's jump into legacy for a little bit, and I guess talk about that, where it started, how it started. I know when I see you on the gram, you're literally out there, rain, snow, just loving on so many people. What is it, Thursdays, right?
Every Thursday,
Yeah. Talk about that a bit.
All right, I'm gonna go back first. So I went to Peru to live when I was 20. Spent 11 years there. It was amazing, and my whole thing was, how do I connect with people? Like I'd get up and I'd do like dramas, and we'd rap, and I try to do everything that we were doing in New York.
Okay.
And it just wasn't working in Peru. And so finally I was like, man, how do we really connect with people? How do we earn the right to speak into their lives? And so for me, it was like these humanitarian acts. It was like these physical acts that allowed me to then speak into their lives and gain trust from them. So we started building wells and started building houses and started medical campaigns and all this awesome stuff. And then it just grew and grew and grew. Sadly, after the 11 years, the divorce caused me to move back to New York. And my dad was like, hey, why don't we start something here in our own backyard? We've been doing this around the world. Let's start something here. And I was like, perfect. This, I got the kids. This keeps me local. I can't really travel. And it was like, all right, what are we going to do? And for me, no matter where you are, I don't care if you are in Beverly Hills or you are in Lima, Peru, or you are in China or anywhere in Africa, like find the itch and scratch it. There is a need everywhere.
Right.
It's not just about the poor neighborhoods or, like there is a need everywhere.
Yeah.
If you want to focus on a certain group, find the itch and scratch it. So for us, we were in Queens, Brooklyn area, and we saw there was a food scarcity and a lot of people that losing their jobs and whatever. And this is right after 2008. And so we're like, all right, let's start a food pantry and let's start helping people with GED and English as a second language. And it just like kind of took off. We started in the beginning with just backpacks. And then we started doing the Feed Somebody Wednesdays. And I'm also a big proponent in helping people doesn't have to cost you anything.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that want to give and help. You just got to knock on a lot of doors. And so we knocked on a lot of doors, and we were getting donations in, and we grew and grew and grew. And I mean, it's been incredible. And then even COVID just took us even to the next level,
Right.
especially with the food pantry part, where before that we were helping 200 families on a Thursday, went to 1,800 families on a Thursday. So I mean, it's just like, it just took off. And it's been incredible serving the people in our community, being that light in our community, through our local church, getting other churches to get involved. It's just been amazing.
Yeah. What, if you don't mind sharing, what are some of the stories that you've heard, from some of the lives, families that you've encountered where you would say to yourself, like, man, this is it.
This is why we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this, this is probably my favorite story. I mean, we've had a lot of families of just like these crying thank yous that you're like, what are you going through that? Cause sometimes I'm like, here's a box of food. This is maybe enough for 3 meals, but you still got 18 other meals that you got to provide for your family, breakfast, lunch, dinner, 7 days a week. So I'm like, thinking I'm helping a little bit, but you see the gratitude on people's faces. Like, but one time we gave this, we went to a school, we gave out backpacks, and this kid, Jaden, got one, and he's on the spectrum and special needs. And so he goes home and brings his book bag home. And the grandma actually, because the daughter split, the grandma actually is taking care of him, and she opens up the book bag and she finds a letter inside the book bag. We'd always put a letter to the parents, just, hey, this is who we are. We'd love to help. Glad we could provide your kid with a backpack, but if you need anything else, we're here to help you.
Yeah.
And so she saw the letter and she's like, who are these people that gave my grandson a free backpack? And I mean, she just basically had no money for anything. She's been spending all her money on the grandson, his special needs, tutoring classes for him and therapy classes for him, trying to get him better and all this stuff, and just trying to help him through the process. And so a backpack was a big thing for her. You'd think, how much is a backpack with school supplies?
Right.
It was a big thing for her. So much so she was like, I got to go and help and see who these people are and even help them. So she shows up, we talk to her. She tells us her story. And, I tell her that, we are the Legacy Center, and we're part of a church called Saints Church. And she's like, oh, well, I'm an atheist. And I'm like, high five, like, cool, like, it's all good,
Yeah.
But if you want to help, you can help us. Or if you need anything else, we got you. She's like, no, I want to help. And I'm like, cool. And just over the years, literally, she went from being a volunteer, I'm not kidding, to this day. And what happened with her grandson happened about 7 years ago. To this day, every single Thursday, she is in charge of my food pantry.
That's amazing.
She runs the food pantry still as a volunteer. As a volunteer, every single Thursday without fail, Lee runs our food pantry. She went from receiving a backpack, coming just to say thank you, being an atheist, to being part of the church, being part of the Legacy Center, and literally being one of my top 5 people, volunteers at the Legacy Center. So ridiculous life change, eternal life change.
Right. That's beautiful.
Everything changed for her and her family. So I'm like, if I could get 100 more Lees or 1,000 more Lees, or
yeah.
I
need a Lee, man.
Right.
Everybody needs a Lee, man. That's
Everybody
good.
needs a Lee.
That's good. Listen, man, with the life you've lived, what is a piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
Man, it is okay to say no. I'm still learning that. I am a yes man, not in the terms of, not in the normal terms of being a yes man. Like whoever's like over me, like I'm just gonna like yes them and lie to them. Nah, I don't like to let people down. And I overextend myself, and I get involved in things that I know I'm not called for and are not my passion, because I'm trying to be the gap filler. And I find myself doing this even now, like even just on a regular daily basis. If a friend, I live in Long Island. If a friend in Manhattan's like, yo, I'm in town, let's go hang out. And like, I say yes, but I overextend myself. But, you know, I was up early in the morning. I've been doing all my stuff, and then to go all the way in the city and then go have dinner and stuff like that, it kills me. It drains me from the stuff that I really have to do.
Right.
So I'm like, only do the stuff that you really have to do. If anybody else can do it, let them do it. Do the stuff that you're called to do. Say no to everything else. Everything in your life. So if you have vision for your life, if I have vision, and again, all the roles, I go back to the roles. If I have vision for my life as a dad, vision for my life as a brother, vision for my life as a single man, vision for my life, all this stuff, like, then everything that I do should be pro vision.
Right.
Anything that I'm doing that's counter vision should be X'd out. Even if it's a good thing.
Right.
Sometimes there's good things that are counter vision. And it's like, no, don't get involved with that because it's taking away from something that you really should be doing. Even if that other thing is nothing, because you have to rest. You have to rest. You have to rest. I'm a doer, man. I don't know if you know Enneagram, but I'm a 7, wing 8 on that thing. And I am like, I have FOMO at every moment. Like, I get scared like I'm missing out on something. And I'm just like, yo, rest, because tomorrow's a big day. You got stuff to do that you have to do. Go and hang out with this person. It's not that important. FaceTime them. Like, stay home, stay in the PJs, stay on the couch, stay with the kids. I'm not saying all the time. You know, it's good to go get out and hang out and have dinner and all that stuff. I know myself. I overextend myself. I say yes. If there's 6 of my friends, and a lot of my friends are in different groups, and they're all out on the same night, and they all invite me, I say yes to all 6 of them. And I'm like, here 20 minutes, and here 20 minutes, and here 20 minutes. But I never get good quality time with any of them.
Right.
And at the end, when I'm like, yo, I got to go, they're all like, oh, you're leaving. It's like a big deal. And I'm like, why did I say yes to 5 other people?
Right.
Say yes to whoever, and that's the first person. That's integrity's big. I won't say yes to this person, and then something cooler comes along, and I'm like, no, and I go to that. I can't stand that. That irks me. Anyway, that's whatever. But man, say yes to the things that you say yes to, that you know are provision, and say no. Say no. Say no. Don't worry about their feelings. Don't worry about you letting them down, because they're gonna do what's best for them.
Yeah.
You got to do what's best for you.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that, man. Listen, you're dropping gems, man. I really appreciate you. Before we started rolling and recording, we was talking a little bit about NFTs, right? Am I saying it right? Mm-hmm. NFTs,
non-fungible tokens,
right? Which I guess the concept is it's almost like a digital art piece.
Yeah, it is a digital art piece. So they would take my art and make a digital file,
and that very like start. You can't duplicate it. You can, but what matters is the first piece.
Yeah, I mean, I can make 5 of them.
Okay,
and that's it. So it's a supply and demand thing. You really have to look at it more than digital art as a digital asset,
right?
And so that piece is mine. Now, who assigns value to it? I don't get all that stuff. Just like in the whole cryptocurrency world, like, why is it Bitcoin that you bought at 1,000? Why is it 68,000? Because there's so many. There's only so many,
right?
And you're mining those. But where are they? They're in the I don't get it all.
Right.
I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to be better at it because.
Well, yeah, that's what I was.
I don't know where. Yeah. I'm not a finance guy. I don't know if the world's going that way, but I just like to know about it. I don't have any Bitcoins. I wish I had 20 of them.
Yeah.
But with the whole NFT thing, hey, I have a friend that wants to make them for me.
Okay.
And do he's in that world. He's actually in that world. So he's like, hey, we can make money off this. And I'm just like, bro, I'll do the art. You do the digital stuff. If we can make some money, I'll split it with you. I didn't really tell him that. He gets a little cut, but
so it's not half.
Yeah, but honestly, like, there's some big money in it, and I'm like, if I could take that big money and go fund some projects and do some awesome stuff. I mean, obviously, you got to take care of yourself and your family, and make sure your kids are good. I got 3 girls, so college, 3 kids in college, 3 weddings. Eventually, I'm gonna get married again. That's another wedding.
Yeah.
Houses, I'd love to at least put a down payment on a house for my kids as a wedding present. So there's a lot of things that I want to do. So yeah, you need money for that, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a
yeah.
hustle. I'm gonna paint and I'm gonna do NFTs, and if crypto comes involved, I'll do crypto.
Yeah.
Like if it makes sense, I'm gonna hustle on it so that I can provide for my kids. And you don't want to. I don't want to spoil my
Of
kids.
course.
100%. You know, they got to work for it. But there are things that I don't know. I really want. I want to make sure that I provide for them and give them the tools that they need to build their own life.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you dropping gems. Let's give the people listening, I guess, just one last, gem statement. Anything you want to say to kind of just share from you to the people.
What is one last thing? I would say, I mean, I'd go back to the beginning, which is kind of funny because it's live with the end in mind. What do you want? What do you want your tombstone to say? And then make that happen. It's not a last minute decision. Like every single day, grind.
Yeah.
Work harder than everybody. Believe in yourself. Many people don't believe in you. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. You got this. You can do this. Don't let other people put you down. And then when it comes to, listen, we go through a lot of things in life with family and friends. I don't need their closure. I do not need someone else's closure. My closure is I deserve better. I'm not going to allow that issue, whether family, best friends, ex-wife, like for me, ex-wife, like I don't need their closure. I'm good. I deserve better. My mental health deserves better. My peace deserves better. And so I forgive. I'm a quick forgiver. I'm good at forgive. I feel like I'm good at forgiving. I can forgive you. Doesn't mean we have to be best friends, but I forgive you and I'm going to move on because there's a lot of things going on in my life that deserve my undivided attention. And this doesn't.
Right.
This doesn't. This is coming off the top of my brain right now. Like, I'm like, man, I need to preach this to myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But yeah, man, like, yeah, I don't need their closure. I don't need them for it to make sense. I don't need for them to understand my side of the story. I don't need them to understand my side of the story. It's okay. I don't need their approval.
That's good.
I just know what I need to do. Like when I'm clear about what I need to do, I'm running full speed at that thing. Yeah, there's little side pockets. Hey, let's fix this. Because I do want peace with all men.
Yeah.
So I want to fix things. But if they don't want to fix it, I can't force them. I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna forgive them, and I gotta keep running. Yeah. So work hard. No, believe in yourself. Know that you deserve more. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Dope. Where can people connect with you?
You can hit me at Jordan Durso, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. JWasHere.com. All my art will be there. Merch. We're making hoodies. We're making trucker hats, all that stuff.
I need that too.
I can't wait for that stuff to come out. That stuff actually is fun. My daughters, I was never even thinking merch, but my daughters made me a hoodie and they made themselves a hoodie. Of course, using my money, so I kind of made it for myself. But they brought my art to a place and got hoodies made for all four of us. And then when I put it on, people were like, "Yo, I want that hoodie," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's." Okay, we need to make merch out of this. So we're gonna make merch out of it. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, hit me up. Love to connect. If you got projects or somebody that needs help, love to help.
Yeah.
I love consulting. I think that could be a whole business for me, which I haven't gotten even into, just because people call me up like, "Yo, I want to start a legacy center," whatever they want to call it, like a food pantry in their neck of the woods in Cincinnati or LA or here. I'm like, "Yo, let's get on the phone. Let's FaceTime. I'd love to help you, walk you through it."
Right.
And because the more of this is happening, more people getting helped. I'm in the business of helping people win. So let's win together.
Yeah.
We are not in competition. I want you to win too.
Yeah.
So let's just get it and help a lot of people and change the world.
Yeah. Jordan, I appreciate you.
Amen.
My brother, I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you
so much. Peace. We out.